And we dive into this newscast with some breaking inputs coming in. The peace negotiations between the Taliban and the Afghan government in Qatar are ready to advance to the next stage. A 3-page agreement codifying rules and procedures for their negotiations on a political roadmap and a comprehensive ceasefire has been agreed upon. The meetings, which began in September, had been bogged down by disputes on the agenda, the basic framework of discussions and religious interpretations. The United States and Afghanistan have welcomed this new development. This is the first major breakthrough since the warring sides began engaging directly following a U.S. troop withdrawal. The agreement lays out the way forward for further discussion, but is considered a breakthrough as well. For more details, let's quickly go across to our correspondent Anas Malik, who's reporting live from Islamabad at this hour. Anas, this is indeed a significant milestone. Do expand on the agreement and why is it being called a breakthrough?
Absolutely, a major agreement, a major breakthrough between the US, between the Taliban and the Afghan government, because this has been a roadblock with regards to the terms of reference for the way forward to the intra-Afghan negotiations. Intra-Afghan negotiations that were supposed to begin from the 17th of September. Remember, on the 16th of September this year, a ceremony took place in Doha, and then after that, we were expecting that the round of talks would be held. But that did not happen because they could not agree upon a framework or a terms of reference, both the Taliban and the Afghan government. Now, as what the sources have confirmed, that the Afghan government and the Taliban both have reached a negotiation, a negotiation, a way forward, which is a 3-pager document. It has 21 points and 4 major outlines. That would be, first would be that the UN would be endorsing the Afghan Taliban and Afghan government talks. Second would be the US-Taliban deal would be one of the frameworks. Third would be that the will of the negotiation teams would be kept in mind and that there would be a solemn commitment between both of the negotiating team members. And fourth, that will of the Afghan people, a major point, will of the Afghan people would be kept in mind when these negotiations take place. Now, earlier there were reports that the Taliban did not abide or did not agree with Masoom Stanikzai, the chief negotiator on the Afghan government side, signing on behalf of the Afghan government, because they maintained that the Afghan government is just a negotiating party and they have never accepted that as a government. So this agreement being done on the terms of reference being agreed upon is definitely a step in the right direction, and that the next steps could lead to reduction in violence with this agreement coming into force.
Right. It's interesting that you mentioned the reduction in violence. And speaking of a possible ceasefire, what will be the political roadmap ahead for a permanent ceasefire in Afghanistan, considering there's been a power shift in the United States and Joe Biden is all set to take charge as president in January?
Well, on the part of reduction in violence, it would be a tricky road ahead, primarily because the Taliban understand that their strength is in violence. They don't have any strength that is left if there is a reduction in violence. We've previously seen, I'll take you back in 2018, when the Afghan government and the Taliban, they reached an interim ceasefire for 3 days. It was very difficult for the Taliban to motivate their mujahideens or quote-unquote fighters to go back to fighting. So therefore, it is in Taliban's favor to keep on fighting. The US would of course be pressing for a reduction in violence. The Taliban would not want that. The Afghan government too would want the Taliban to go for a reduction in violence, because that shows some strength on their part, that they have some stake as well. Taliban on the other part, as I said, they're stronger than ever. They control, as per some conflicted reports, they control more than 50% of the territory, so they wouldn't be bulging down to reduction in violence, though the US has been emphasizing for the need to reduce violence. In fact, last week when I was in Afghanistan, the Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan, he has committed to the Afghan side that Pakistan would do its utmost. Remember, Pakistan has been having a greater role in convincing the Taliban, and now what needs to be seen is how this reduction in violence or a quote-unquote permanent ceasefire would pan out. That is to be seen. What would be Pakistan's role? What would be US's role? What are the expectations? What are the expectations of international collaborators such as the UAE, such as Qatar and others? That is something that remains to be seen, and that would be closely watched out. Yes, Akansha.
Absolutely. It will be closely watched out, especially after January 20th, when President-elect Joe Biden takes charge officially. Having said that, thank you so much, Anas Malik, for bringing us all those latest updates.